Welcome to a platform where we debate on the top stories of the NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball, and other leagues with the best in the world of sports. You'll also get interviews with many athletes and media talents at several basketball events, including the WNBA and college basketball. My name is Rafiq Ulazon, and this is Nothing But That Sports Talk.
Ionescu inside to Burke, repays the favor, and Burke puts it in. Hey, the Barclays is the official banking partner of the New York Liberty. Power and bold. Kayla Thornton dials it up and knocks it down. Another costly turnover from Brianna Jones, and here comes Ionescu. Nice look for Thornton, lays it up and in.
Clark with the ball in her hands. Another perfect pass to Boston, who waited for Howard to get out of the way. Caitlin decided not to shoot. Mitchell will. Hits the three.
Oh my
We're
goodness.
tied again.
Incredible.
What a way to end the first half of the WNBA season. As I welcome to this episode of Nothing But That Sports Talk. Rafiq Ulazon. I'm alongside Ryan Walker. Welcome aboard again.
Absolutely. Good to be back at it. Good to be back.
Yeah, we back indeed. I mean, yeah, all the hype, the growth of women's sports continues to mount, especially the WNBA, with the New York Liberty finishing with the best record in the WNBA after a victory against the Connecticut Sun. They currently hold a record of 21-4, the best start in franchise history, 2 games ahead of the Connecticut Sun. So, yeah, as long as you've been a Liberty fan, how much have you enjoyed the idea that the Liberty have the top record in the W?
Oh man, it's good. It's really, really good. How they're playing as a team. We knew they were gonna come off. You know, it's hard in any sport to lose in a championship game and play and recover the next year. Some teams don't do well with it. And in general, it's just tough. You know what I'm saying? To get so far and lose it, it takes a different resolve the next year as a team to come back and be as gritty as yet. And they haven't completed what they want as of yet. So as the season still goes, though, you know, they're hungry and they're angry from how things ended last year, and they should. And that's no knock on Vegas. Vegas was the better team in essence. Then Liberty had chances and could have won that series undeniably, but they didn't take care of certain opportunities they had, and the Aces were a more experienced, already won championship team from before. With them still having a shot at it, remember, one of their key players has just come back healthy. They'll be fine in postseason. They're not worried about home court. They're worried about going into the playoffs healthy, of that being the champions. But the Liberty were going to be hungry and poised because of what happened last year, and now, hopefully they can keep that up. Connecticut is still a good team, so hopefully you can keep that ground and hopefully not just get the best record in the W, but to also have the best record in the Eastern Conference, right? So that if everything is said and done, somehow, some way, you have the final game at your home in any one of your series. The Liberty clearly, what do they have? 2 losses at home?
Only 1 loss at home, 3 on the road.
So there you go. So
they've had a losing streak, but it was early this season with back-to-back losses against Chicago and the Minnesota Lynx, the team that defeated them in the Commissioners Cup in Long Island. But yeah,
right.
after that, the losses came against the Mercury and the Indiana Fever. But why are we not surprised that 2 of the 4 losses came against the Fever in the Sky? Because you got 2 of the best rookies in the WNBA, without question. But we'll talk more about that. Finish your points.
Well, hey, listen. They're solid at home, so you'd want to get home, and they can play on the road, and even a neutral site, right? The Minnesota Lynx is technically a home game, but not their home gymnasium, even though it's right there, which is affiliates, whatever the case may be. It was a beautiful spectrum. But they're playing at UBS Arena, yes, indeed, and in Elmont in Long Island. They're off to a good start. Hopefully, they can continue that way. And if things work out, whether it's the Aces they play in the finals, or with Dallas, or whoever comes out the other side of the conference, out of the W, hopefully the Liberty can one day be champions. I think this could be the chance for the year. The only thing, to me, like I said, Dallas is really good.
Dallas, yeah, the Dallas Wings are not that good. They're 6-19. They're 6.
Did they fall off?
Yeah, they have one. They have one of the worst records in the WNBA at 6. And
Ooh, Lord, who's out in the West doing well? How's Phoenix? Average.
Phoenix are above average. They're like 12-11. They just come off a win against the Mystics.
Minnesota out there that's doing it.
Minnesota, they literally surprised everybody this year. We knew they were going to be good, but we didn't think they were going to be top 3 good.
Huh?
And then, of course, there's Connecticut. They just picked up Marina Mayberry in a trade.
Correct.
They traded Mariah Jefferson and Banham, the lady that carried them to a win against the Mercury last Sunday. They did that Mayberry trade. So, yeah, she's a shooter.
Well, we'll see how everything pans out. But 21-4, like you said, is an astronomical start, and they just got to keep everything churning going into this All-Star break, and they'll be fine.
Yeah. Even though at the beginning of the season, I wasn't too crazy about the bench, but the bench exceeded my expectations. If you listen to my episode with the way I had Jeff Begochetti and Kenny Saint, the fourth like a week ago, you probably get perspective about everything going on with the New York Liberty. I mean, the bench literally exceeded my expectations. Sabrina Nescu put up like literally her 13th 30-point game. Junko Jones playing like an MVP, and she's actually participated in 3-point shootout, which I will get into later in the show. And then not to mention Brianna Stewart, even though her numbers have kind of fallen off, she's still putting up good numbers. Just enough for Liberty to get the number 1 seed in the WNBA, which is something that they could have had last year, but they were just a much better nucleus compared to New York Liberty.
Right, and even that they only did by a couple games. So the Liberty, we both did that. In the beginning of the season, you got impatient only because like I said, when you come off a championship year, they went to the championship but they didn't win. You as a fan or you as an individual or anybody, we all do. We want them to win in the first day.
Yeah, we got to just be seen off.
And we know it can't happen because it's a progression. But you just pinpoint things you've seen. Remember, even last season, we're on record for it. When we first seen the Liberty at first beginning of the year, they had 1-2 injuries, but they were so inconsistent. And we're like, maybe they need this guard and maybe they need this, that, and that. But guess what? Everything that they really had was in the locker room. It just took time for them to gel. And what's so crazy about the W season, and for the ladies in general, especially if you're decent or good, most of the girls from the W, when the season's off, they're probably playing overseas or in another league or, you know what I'm saying? They do a lot of things. So when you're flowing into the season, now you get back into camp, you got to develop chemistry. And the season is long, but it's short. Like they're 21-4 already. I'm saying you're talking about postseason.
You got like 15 more games to play when you coming out of the Olympic break. Right.
So it's just so uncanny how sometimes you don't get that much time to gel, and we're waiting for it to happen. So some things, and everything that I said that they weren't doing well last year, I said they started doing. So that's the same thing that you pointed out this year. And remember, some of the bench core was young kids. So it takes time to gel and figure out your role and see where you can do things at. They figured that out. They might even at the deadline might want to just add another role piece, maybe 1 or 2 in there if applicable, and try to go on a stretch run and see what happens in the postseason. Like you said, shout out to Jones for making the 3-point shootout. They're all playing pretty well. I think Brianna also is diminishing her role because they're making sure that the collective team can do well too. And we also have to remember Brianna is good and has played well, but she's not as young as she used to be. She still has a lot of good years in her, but she's played a lot of basketball. She's been in a lot of big-time competitive games over the last 10 years. You know what I'm saying? From UConn, she's on this national team, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's on the national team. This is her 8th season. She came to the league in 2016.
Right. So several times she's been there. So you're talking about a girl that carried Seattle when she was a young girl, winning titles. She carried UConn several times, even on those good teams, to win titles. Olympian, long postseason years. So, but this is why she has other girls, and so diminishing of, her point production going down is like 2 or 3 points, or like 1 or 2 rebounds, but other girls are playing well and filling in those roles. So they have a good team, and hopefully, like I said, this time they have to continue, at least just focus on just continue to be number 1 in the East.
That's the best they could do, and they have to. And I already mentioned earlier the Marine Mayberry trade. And you know what? As we're on the subject of talking about Marina Mayberry, let's just get to the contest. And yeah, she's in both the skills and 3-point contest. But I'm going to say in numerical order. Yeah, the 3-point contest will feature Jonquil Jones, Marina Mayberry, Kayla McBride, Alicia Gray from the Atlanta Dream, and Stephanie Dolson from the Washington Mystics. Who you got winning this one?
Oh, I'm going with Jones. But I do like the girl Gray on Atlanta. When she gets into a rhythm, she can knock down shots. So that's gonna be my sleeper. Shout out to Dolson for making it. Dang, I wish we still had Dolson. Look at that. She go there and make a 3-point shootout.
And Dolson for a bad Washington Mystics team, which is understandable because where her WNBA career started, but still.
Yes, 100%. Listen, go do what you got to do. And so I don't think Dolson is made for 3-point shootout, but she'll knock down a few. She'll knock it down, but who knows? But I like Gray from the Dream as a sleeper, but I'm going Jones. Jones gonna get into her. She's gonna take it home.
Listen, I'm with you 100%.
No Sabrina? No Sabrina? Sabrina not shooting?
Nah, she was offered. Well, her and Caitlin Clark were offered a 3-point shootout, but they declined it. Which is fair. I mean, after the phenomenal performance Sabrina Ionescu have, yeah, she had to focus on the Olympics. And Caitlin Clark, she just needs to focus on playing the All-Star game. So yeah, that's fine. I'm cool with
that. Makes sense. And but Caitlin in the future definitely has to be in it though. It would have been nice if she would have been in it. So I got Jones though.
No, you're definitely gonna get something like that in the near future because Caitlin Clark and Sabrina Ionescu, let's face it, they're deadly shooters.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm picking. Well, for me, I'm picking Jonquil Jones, and my consolation pick, I'll probably go between Marina Mayberry and Alicia Gray as well. That's my picks to win the 3-point contest. Now, speaking of, we get to the skills challenge. The lateral that I just mentioned earlier, the competition, she's in a skills challenge with Stephanie Dolson, Brittany Griner, and Erica Wheeler, and Alicia Gray is also in the skills challenge as well. Who you win the skills challenge?
Hey, Dolson is everywhere, huh? You know what? I'm going with the sleeper.
No, it's Marina Mayberry in the skills challenge.
It's Mayberry. Okay, Mayberry. So I'm going Brittany Griner.
All right.
I'm going Brittany Griner skills competition.
All right, I'll take the Brittany Griner pick. I'll take your word for it. I mean, we all know how I feel about Brittany Griner, especially after what she did to Hayes.
Junkie at the end.
Yeah, we all know how we feel about Brittany Griner. All right, now we get to the more W talk as we talk about. We mentioned Caitlin Clark a couple times, but during the first half of the season, which rookie stood out to you the most between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark?
That one, I have to be neutral on that one again. That one is tough because they both have stood out. I know this might sound crazy, but as of right now, they should give Angel Reese the Rookie of the Year.
I've been preaching that for a while now. I mean, come on now. 15 straight double-doubles.
Right. They're both standing out, though. They're both doing phenomenal things. And that's not to discredit anything that young lady is, what she's helping for doing for the game, economically, everything. Like, she's doing great things, and she's playing good basketball on a young and upcoming team that's learning and so on and so forth. But unfortunately, in regards to play, I think Reese with the double-doubles and how she's affecting and what she's doing is having more of a bigger impact. Clearly, we know Clark is going to be the bigger impact going all the way through the career. But they're both doing great things. I just think as of right now, Reese still deserves the MVP. It might be like that Carmelo LeBron thing. I'm saying where Melo will get the award, but over the longevity, of course, it'll probably be a young lady like Clark. And that's not to say that the Angel Reese is not going to do great things, because this young lady does great things. So they're both standing out. But if the next question or any type of question is who's the Rookie of the Year, as of right now, it's Angel Reese.
Without a doubt. I mean, come on now. I don't even need to ask, because how I feel about Angel Reese. I'm slightly a bigger fan of Angel Reese than with Caitlin Clark. Not saying Caitlin Clark,
I am too.
Shooter. She had 19 assists in a game against the Dallas Wings last night, or a few nights ago, rather. Not saying that she can't put up good numbers, but this is a major back and forth brain buster. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I'm going to stick with Angel Reese, thinking that she might win Rookie of the Year. I get why you will give it to Caitlin Clark, but Angel Reese put up better numbers. I'm sorry.
No, that's it. That the award is the Rookie of the Year. So if they're going off the statistics, if everything stays the way it is now, and they keep going on the course of what it is, statistically, Angel Reese's numbers will validate that she is the Rookie of the Year. Just for that award. Clark could be the MVP next year, for crying out loud, or the year after. That's the type of potential she has, right? So and so does Angel Reese. But just for that word, the only way it can completely change, and it's not like Clark is playing bad basketball. If she goes on a stupid tear in the second half, and the tear doesn't even have to necessarily mean that the Fever matriculate wins. If she goes on a stupid tear offensively, or just in general, whole play-wise, because it just can't be offensively, then she can come and steal the award, because it's not like she's yards behind Reese-ing the award. She's just not winning statistically over her. If Reese wasn't there, he would be the Rookie of the Year, right? So based on what she's doing statistically, so she'd have to have a killer second half. If she had a killer second half and did a lot of things all across the board, and the Fever won some more games, even if the Fever didn't qualify for postseason or have a chance to get in, like if they just started winning more, that would help her jump ahead of Reese. But as of right now, if everything stays the same course and they all keep doing the same thing they're doing, Angel Reese is the Rookie of the Year, statistically.
Exactly. But let me update you on the standings. The Chicago Sky, they're the 7th seed. The Indiana Fever, they're the 8th seed. If the season were to end right now, the Liberty would face any one of those teams. If, as a New York Liberty fan, who would you want to see start?
It doesn't matter. They both going home.
Listen, I like the confidence right there, and I feel the same way too. But we can't ignore the fact that both those rookies did grab a win against the New York Liberty this season.
Oh, stop it.
Ignore that. Listen,
the Fever played the Liberty like 12 times. So if they got one win, who cares? And Chicago did play well. Reese, stop it. In the series, they will not beat the Liberty. It won't be it for you to even fathom that is you're telling me that you don't see them as a championship team, because we understand that based off what we just said and talked about, that they're going to the finals, right?
No, I'm not saying that. Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm with the Liberty 100%. I just want to evaluate the tougher matchup in the first round.
None. Then between both of them, no disrespect to them, but what the Liberty have on paper and how they play and how they matriculate and how they can play in the home and how they play on the road. Stop it. The Indiana Fever and the Liberty played like 5 times in the first 3 weeks. Jesus Christ. Even if you're way more dominant than a team, you can get one win. The Liberty beat the brakes off of them how many times
3 times.
before that? No other
Lost
way.
a few weeks ago.
Right. Now, the Chicago Sky is a very scrappy team. You know how I feel about Reese. You know how I feel about what's my girl? Copper.
Clear Copper's in Phoenix.
That's right. She's not even there no more. She flexed out. Listen, no. Chicago can. I'll play any one of them. They could combine their team together. It won't make a difference. The Liberty are that much better than them. That was 1 game interval. And you know, just like you said, they played 25 games. You got to lose 4 games to somebody. Eventually, in a series, that won't happen. The Liberty are the better team. They will not lose at home to any one of those teams. It's just not going to happen.
It's not
no.
I agree with you 100%. I agree with you 100%. And listen, I want the Liberty to win. I for one, want to see Liberty get to the finals again. As somebody that covered the finals last year, I for one want to see them get back there, without question.
100%.
But since we're talking about teaming up, Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are teaming up in the All-Star game for Team W going up against Team USA. Do you think Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese will carry Team WNBA against the USA Women's National Team in the All-Star game this Saturday?
Oh my God. They're gonna try. It's gonna be an interesting. Listen, the All-Star team they have a good squad, but you know, this is gonna be a very interesting matchup. I know they're not gonna back down. I know Reese and Clark are not gonna back down, and if anything, they're probably looking forward to the matchup for different reasons. I'm pretty sure it's not a shadow of a doubt. No matter, I'm pretty sure, even though she's not perturbed by it because her time will come, I'm pretty sure Clark thinks that she should be on the USA team, and I'm pretty sure somewhere deep down inside, Angel Reese believes the same thing as well too. And 2 ladies like that that play with chips on their shoulders and are looking for something to prove, and their life progress is so. And listen to me this without us thinking crazy or cynical. It's so interesting because they're bitter rivals, but they're actually good friends. Mm-hmm. Like where they actually will converse per se, and that's because of the sport of competition. And it's so crazy because you got Clark, like a rural country white girl from the Iowa area, played for the Hawkeyes. And you got Reese, who's an urban black girl from the hood, you know what I'm saying, but smart and educated. And there's no knock on her. I'm saying nobody watching this saying like, oh, bad mouth on her. Reese is dope. You know what I'm saying? She's grown and mature. She's a graduate. You understand what I'm saying? She's a businesswoman. She plays in the W. There's nothing else to talk about, but they have different routes on how they became who they are. Correct?
Yes.
So it's crazy how with that perspective and black and white and one's like a guard that's more like 3 and kind of flashing does things, but the other one is more like a tough, gritty, rebounder, blue collar, really skilled and set. And it's like they're competitors, but they're also have a lot of things in common that they're dealing with as well too, as young women coming up in the game and in life. You know what I'm saying? So now they're on a team together where they got something to prove to the other team for different reasons on why they're not on the USA team, correct? And who knows how their competitive fire, and even though the USA team clearly has, well, for the most part, has the 12 best players in the world, right? On the women's team, the All-Star team doesn't have scrubs on it. They can play, and they're still American, and this is still a W. So that's not to say just because the USA team got that. Let me tell you something. That'll hurt their confidence if the USA team do win, and the rest of the nation is watching.
Team USA did lose to WNBA All-Stars 3 years ago, and it was all thanks to Arika Gubowale, who's on WNBA All-Stars this year as well. And yeah, let me just break down the rest of the list. I mean, yeah, you got Arika Gubowale, Angel Reese, Nika Gumick, Kelsey Mitchell, Caleb McBride, John Paul Jones, who's reunited with Brianna Jones, former teammates of the Connecticut Sun, Dearica Amby, Alicia Gray, Aaliyah Boston, and Dewana Bonner. So, yeah, that roster we go up against Team USA, and you probably may know this. Nafisa Collier, Kalia Copper, Chelsea Gray, Brittany Griner, Sabrina Ionescu, Jewel Lloyd, Kelsey Plum, Brianna Stewart, Diana Taurasi, Alyssa Thomas, Asia Wilson, and Jackie Young. So, now that I've listed everything, what you think?
Still think that it's gonna be, like I said, look at the roster you just named that the All-Star team has. It's not improbable for them to be victorious in this contest. They got some big shot makers on that team too.
Yes, they do. They got some big shots. But
Big
this
shot makers.
for Team USA as we head towards the Olympic break. And yeah, the Olympics.
And I don't think the USA team, they can do that, but I don't think the USA team wants to make that too much of an up-tempo game too. That might not be in their favor. The younger legs was on the All-Star team. So that's the other thing about the USA team. If anything could be their Achilles heel, but hopefully that'll happen, is, how can I say it? They're not as young as they used to be. An up-tempo game could give them problems with some of the players that they have on their team, but they're smart and savvy defensively. I'm pretty sure they'll figure that out.
Yeah, they'll figure it out. I mean, I witnessed them in USA training camp, and I've seen how they work in their transition offense, the team chemistry, the way that they play, the way that they can defend practice players. And Cheryl Reeve really toughened these ladies up at the USA training camp when they came to the Barclays Center earlier this season. Now they got a chance to put that to work with players that actually made the roster. Can't wait to see how it works out. All right, now we get to some Nike Pro City talk. This past week, as I Can't Feel My Face after being down 58-38, they came back and defeated Shaw Bell in overtime. Reggie Quezada dropped 19 points. Jawaun Daniels put up 18, and Zion Styles scored 16. And we had an appearance from Kyle Anderson for the Golden State Warriors, who also put up 16. Talk about coming together in a championship level team for Nike Pro City. Now we get to Team NEBC, who defeated Pro City Select 103-98 after a late 9-0 run. Jesse Jones put up a team high 25 points, and Jorden Dingle put up 23. Overseas Elite defeated SOG 102-84 after a 28-point performance by Amir Bell. And an international grind was literally on an international grind as they defeated BK Stompers 112-99 behind great performances by Will Raymond and Dimitri Roberts. Raymond put up 23, Robert put up 21. Now, with that being said, what are your thoughts on what I just described to you after what I witnessed at Pro City?
Oh, you just mentioned a lot of dogs. You mentioned a lot of dogs. First of all, you mentioned Wani, little Wani, Sugar Hill Harlem. Oh God, I forgot what's the D1, what's the HBCU Wani went to? Prairie View, I believe. And he's just progressed phenomenally as a player under Sauce Twin as the coach, and he's having a good summer. You mentioned Nietzsche. Oh God, that's a guy's an absolute. Dimitri Roberts is an absolute bucket getter. Another guy that killed in college. Jesse Jones, Filet. Yeah, Filet was had a phenomenal game and showed his growth over the last few years overseas. A lot. Jorden Dingle, Castle Parks. Hopefully, I'm getting that right. Yeah, Jorden Dingle for Hempstead. It's a Long Island guy that goes out there overseas and kills as well too. So oh God, who's the other one you mentioned too for BK Stompers? Say those guys from BK Stompers again.
Will Raymond, Dimitri Roberts.
right? And then the one before that, the team before that you mentioned.
Amir Bell.
Yeah.
Overseas elites.
Correct. All those guys are big time players. You know what I'm saying? So Pro City, you know what you're getting there. You know, you're getting the elite when we all do pro-ams and different stuff, but when it comes to New York City summer basketball and pro-am, that is the best summer tournament for pro-am basketball. It's Pro City. Just Hoopsville in Jersey is really phenomenal for pro-am circuit they got going on too. You know, we crunch time, we do a good thing too, but you know, Pro City, because you know the Nike, the funding, and everything, the gymnasium they get, so on and so forth. They got the big time dogs that come out and come to play. Like you said, Kyle Anderson, Jersey guy. There's one Dyke man, I believe he's won at Pro City before, and you know his connections and so on and so forth. And now signing with the Warriors. But Pro City has a good team. They got a Pro City Select. I think Northeast Basketball Club has a team in there, right? I can't feel my face. Sean Bell, I can't feel my face, and Sean Bell is always a big time rivalry. And Brooklyn Stompers, it's a lot of really good programs in there. And you know how that it can go anyway with this type of league. The champions are, you know, are right back at it. They got a good core. And that's the other one you mentioned. My little pup Zion Styles, Uniondale High School. Okay.
Yeah, you know,
that's my little pup.
Yeah, you know what? After I interviewed him, he asked me can I follow on social media. I was like, yeah, that guy's real with it, man.
That is my boy, Uniondale's own. We got him at Long Island, and I got the archives. Go on the page. I got a lot of words with Zion going up there, dunking. Maryland Eastern Shore got his degree. God bless him. God bless his family. All his brothers played. The whole family is athletes. His other older brother is actually one of the head coach at Uniondale High School, and his other brother played at Nassau, the younger one. The other one, the family's athletic. You know what I'm saying, but Zion, through the roof, what he did, you know, played he was doing the circuit with the Africa League. I think it's the NBDL, I believe. Hopefully I didn't get that wrong, but he was there for months doing well. Just seen him the other day. He was at Crunch Time. Did he play? No, I think he might play this week. He might be on back to business. So if that's the case, I'll have him game 1 announcing. So, but he's a great kid, phenomenal athlete. And you got to be careful on the rebound, on the break. He can dunk on you.
Yeah, I witnessed that firsthand. The guy is relentless. I mean, seriously.
I'll tell you this, like, I know this for a fact on that team. He's the best dunker on that team. When it comes to leaping and doing anything, that kid, he won the dunk contest last year at Whitehead. He dunked it over somebody almost from the free throw line, or some crazy thing they said he did. He's a superior athlete.
Superior, man. I mean,
superior.
I can't believe I witnessed that firsthand at Pro City, man.
If you go on, I'm gonna show it to you on the page. There's one that he did at Crunch Time. The kid Elias, and you know him. He also plays at Pro City.
Yeah, I think I met the guy when I was at Pro City too.
Eli, he a Queens cat.
Yeah, he had the Crunch T-shirt. I saw him. I think I saw him.
That's my son Eli. Eli got the rebound. He was playing in the All-Star game for the chip. And it was the chip championship weekend for last summer. Yep, last summer. And Eli caught the rebound and threw the ball up. Right? Because this was what me and Cindy. Yep. And threw the ball up in the air. I mean, he had to be about maybe 2 or 3 feet away from half court. And he threw it in the air. And I seen Zion, I'm like, oh, Zion can get it, but there's no way. There's no way. Like, the ball keeps rising, and he just went up there and just grabbed it, went in. And we were all so impressed that at first Like, even though we were like, oh, like we didn't know what to say. And it took me a while even after that. Oh, I forgot what I said after that. I said, welcome to the Sky Zone, or we got a reservation to rooftop, one of them things. But he's just a superior athlete, and God bless him. That's what he does. So listen, two of those guys from Long Island, Jordan Parks and Zion Styles, are definitely Long Island kids.
Yep. Damn. I pretty much got a taste of everything you just saying. I'm glad I was there. I'm glad I've been to all the, like, seriously.
Pro City. I'm watching for you guys because I'm so busy. You know what I'm doing on my end, that I can't go as much as I used to. Like, it's got to make sense now when I go. So I probably really realistically won't be there until like maybe the Final Four or the finals. So watching through you, through Baller's Journal, through Aaron, Shay, everybody that's there through the footage, different stuff, that's how I'm keeping in tune and intact. So God bless you guys for that, because, you know, I mean, that's Pro City, bro.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with Pro City. And then you also can't go wrong with baseball. Now we get to talking about, we'll get back to more basketball talk in a minute because we got to get to baseball. And yeah, obviously the American League came back for a 3-0 deficit to defeat the National League to win their 10th game in the last 11. And thank Juan Soto for that one. Now we get to the actual second half of the season. The New York Mets, after starting the season off 22-33, are now 3 games above 500 and hold the last spot in the wild card, while the Yankees, after a strong start, they kind of tumble a little bit. But they did end on a high note by winning the series against the Baltimore Orioles in Baltimore, but they still fall a game behind the Baltimore Orioles for the division. Now, I don't know where to start because you got one team that's been on the rise from the beginning, and they regressed a little bit, but and now they hold the top spot in the wild card. And then you got the New York Mets, who I said I've given up on over a month ago after they were 6 games out of the wild card. Now they lead the wild card after taking advantage of a very soft schedule by at the very least splitting with the Nationals and the Pirates, sweeping the Colorado Rockies. No, I'm not. Actually, I'm lying. Sweeping the Nationals in home and then taking 2 out for the Rockies. So, yeah. We all want thoughts on the Yankees' struggles. I mean, honestly, you say it's 162 games, but we overall thoughts on the Yankees' struggles.
Well, that's just Jack, how you doing? That's just the whole conversation of it in general, is that as patient and impatient with this sport you can be, is that it's 162 games. And even through teams, you know, you had Yankee teams that won 100 plus games. You had Mariners teams that broke the record and won 115 plus games. You've had Dodger teams that have done it. There's been many teams, the Indians over the past, has won 100 plus games. Even through that, if you play 162 and you win 105 or 110 games, that means at some point you lost 5 in a row. You lost maybe 10 in a row. Maybe lost 7 in a row. Now you have bad stretches like that. You have 2 or 3 week stretches where you can't play any baseball like that. And then think about it on the different perspective. Even through the Mets struggles throughout the year, they've still been an average or maybe competitive to below average team. Think about these teams that win 40, 50 games every year. Like, how many losing streaks do they have? You know what I'm saying? And that's not even to point at the point, because I'm going to get on the Yankees in a second too. The Mets started off bad. They had a few injuries here and there, but they still had enough guys. They weren't playing good ball. They weren't hitting. Some of their pitching clicked in. They got into a good stretch. Then they kind of digressed again, and then they got hot. They playing better in the last 25 to 30 games, and God bless them. I'm not a hater. See, I always tell guys when they do the right thing, and they're playing better baseball now. They're leading in the wild card for what it is. That's their or the last position, excuse me, for wild card. Then that's the position they want to try to keep a hold and try to push forward to get past that in the break. And they listen, you take advantage of the schedule. The schedule is what it is, but you got to play, because there were times during the year that they were playing teams that were below average and they were losing. So They won the games that they were supposed to win. That gives them a good feeling going into the second half. God bless them. The Yankees started off super hot. There's a lot of talent there in the locker room, and then they hit an absolute abysmal streak in the last 3.5 weeks where they just can't play. They just can't get out their own way. I'm not completely buying that they need to make a lot of deals, even though they're going to do things anyway, probably by the trading deadline, because I think there's enough guys in the locker room that they should be playing better than how they played in the last 4 weeks. But that's also the grip to say that during the baseball time, you're going to have a stretch where you're just not playing well. Before the Orioles got stupid hot again, they had a stretch where they were looking like, when the Yankees pushed out and emerged so much. But the Yankees have had such a tough 3 weeks that they've mathematically let Baltimore back in. And Baltimore's a solid team. We got to remember they were a top team in the American League last year. They just had an abysmal first round where they fell in front of their face. So they're trying to be the team to get back. And again, there's a lot of talent on the team, and they can pitch. So we're going to be in a fight with that division all year. It's either we're going to win it or we're going to be a top wild card team. But they do need to wake up out that 3-game stretch, because if they do that, hold on. Yeah. Yeah, if they had a bad stretch, they gotta wake up with it, play better. They did take 2 out of 3 from Baltimore, so that was a good way to kind of clear away the last 3 weeks, and hopefully guys rest and get back in. Soto was awesome in the All-Star break, and it's imperative that they play better in the second half. Make Soto, of course, feel comfortable, and they do good things so that hopefully in the offseason, you have the first and best chance of signing this guy back for the $500 to $600 million that he's going to make, no matter where he goes or where he's at. Hopefully it's here with us. I think we're the front runners for that, so we'll be fine. But that's the goal, and they need to keep at it. But they played like absolute crap the last 3 weeks, excluding getting the 2 out of 3 from Baltimore. They played like absolute crap, and now they got the second half of the season, hopefully to play a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the Yankees, and even if they don't win the division, they still have the wild card. But they're doing
right.
But they're only but at one point the Yankees were like the team that win the division will probably like 6 or 7 games at the wild card. Now teams are starting to get better, but this is why you have 162 games, because you have time to actually get it together, or just stay as you are and fire sale the roster.
Correct. So hopefully they won't do that, but they're gonna add a few things. But it's a long season, and
it's a long season.
Like you said, the best thing is that they got 2 out of 3, and that Soto played well in the All-Star game. Hopefully that could mean something to push until the second half. But I'll tell you this much, and I'll say this on air. I don't care if they win yet. I'm talking with this other guy, one of the residents of my job, big-time Yankees fan, older Irish guy named Eugene. Me and talk baseball all the time. We absolutely hate Aaron Boone. I don't know what Aaron Boone knows or who he knows, what kind of dirt he got on the Yankees. I don't know. Because he got an extension. I think it's like 2 years left, maybe left on the deal. I can't wait for it to end. Please do not resign him back. I'm calling for it now. Even if the only thing that would make me say that I don't want to be, and I'm still not big on him, is if they win the World Series. But I'm on record that they need to get rid of him. I'm done with Aaron Boone. The last 3 weeks, and that's what I meant to my guys. I said, no. I said, he's got to find a way and push the right buttons and do the different things to get the Yankees out of that funk. That's when a manager becomes in big play, because the talent is there in the locker room. See, here goes the biggest pressure for the Yankees this year. If we lose, we have no excuse to give anybody, because you have Aaron Judge, who's probably the second best player in baseball, right?
Averaging a 3.306 batting average, 34 home runs, 85 RBIs, and on base percentage is .433.
Right.
And 105 hits.
Ohtani's the best player in baseball, right?
Yep, Ohtani.
Okay, Ohtani's the best player in baseball. So debatably, the Yankees have the number 2 and the number 3 best player in baseball, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
The one we trying to sign for $600 million, the one we already just gave $720, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a top pitcher who won the Cy Young, just come back, he's getting his feet wet. You do have other arms. You have a bullpen. There's guys in the lineup. Verdugo, you got to wake up and hit. Rizzo, you got to wake up and hit. You know what I'm saying? There's guys that's there. You got to hit, or you're gonna have to get moved on. Glaber, I don't know what's going on. He's a shell himself. He won't be a Yankee next year. But Volpe's good. They have young kids in the background. At the end of the day, we're not gonna get no excuse if we don't at least get to the World Series. You understand what I'm saying? So
there's no excuse not to. Do you? I mean, even though
right.
the Astros are not, even though the Astros are finally getting it together, the Astros are not that good, but they've been above average. Rich, I mean, seriously.
Yeah. So the last 3 weeks, it's up to me, to the manager, to do certain things. And I hate to go back and sound so old, because with the game of baseball being and sports being so analytical sometimes, where we're making more decisions based on statistics and computers and all these different things rather than the stomach and the gut and the eye sometimes, it really takes away from good managers. You know what I'm saying? And back in the days, you had to manage. And when Joe Torre had teams like this, where they started playing bad, they would call a team meeting. First of all, Steinbrenner is rolling over in his grave twice, because George would have had a fit. He would have fired 30 people. He'd have slapped 30 people. Something would have had to change. And Boone has just never been that guy to me. I'm sorry. I hope we win in spite of him, but I'm on record. I'm not a big fan of him, and we're gonna leave that one.
Yeah, the Yankees are currently a game out of the Atlantic. Excuse me. The Yankees are literally a game behind the Baltimore Orioles for the American League East, and then also the rest of the division winners. You got the Cleveland Guardians, leading the AL Central, and the Seattle Mariners leading the AL West ahead of the Houston Astros, who are full game back. And the Texas Rangers, the team that won the World Series last year, are 5 games behind the Seattle Mariners for the AL West. So it's going to get heated. Well, on the wild card, you had the Minnesota Twins and the Boston Red Sox. The closest team to that, the Kansas City Royals, are 2 games back, and Houston Astros are 3.5 games behind the Boston Red Sox, who literally got it together. So things get heated up in the American League, but now we get to the New York Mets. We already talked about the New York Mets so many times. They were bad, but they flipped the script when Germans made the first pitch. And I know the last time you guys were on the show, Patrick was going to have a conversation with you about the Mets versus Yankees, because in the middle of everything going on between these 2 New York teams, the Mets actually swept the Yankees during that stretch. So did you guys have that talk?
I mean, there's nothing to talk about. They played well in 2 games, and they swept us, and they took care of their business. We weren't playing great baseball during that time. We'll play them again in another 2 games. We'll see what happens in the Bronx. But they played well during the time they got those 2 games. Like those things are more important to the Mets fan base than it is to us. So God bless them. They swept us. They did a great thing. We'll have a parade. But they were playing better baseball at that time when we weren't playing great baseball. That's how it works out sometimes in baseball. Maybe we'll be able to catch them at the other side of that when we see them later on in the year. But listen, they won. They won 17 out of the last 29 games against the Yankees. So I know that's a big hooray for them. They love that type of stuff. But still throughout that stretch, they've been anemic. They haven't won anything, and we've been good and haven't won anything either. So, like I said, those matchups are great for the people who come to the fan base and turn on ESPN to give ratings. And it's more important to Mets fans than it is the Yankee fans. God bless them. They won. They swept us. But there's no championship for winning the 69th game of the regular season or
There's
whatever.
none whatsoever. I mean, you win the Subway Series, but there's none whatsoever.
And is it really a Subway? I guess a Subway Series, yeah, because Subway. They played 2 games in a stretch. The way it's split up, like I said, God bless. And I'm telling you, it's always one of those rivalries in sports. It's like when the Jets play the Giants, the Jets come more pumped up to try to win that game than the Giants do. When the Mets play the Yankees, same thing. It's more of a bigger thing for them to win that. Like, you know, it's so crazy. And I watched the job the first couple of weeks, and we have a lot of residents at the job. Some are Yankee fans, but you have more Mets fans that are there. And boy, they were depressed the first couple of weeks of baseball. Like, they couldn't say anything. They didn't want to talk. And then now, every time I see them around, they say, "Let's go Mets, let's go Mets." And I got them a few shirts that are like
Because the turnaround of the offensive style.
So now it's so crazy. But one resident, I love him. His name is David. He's a Giants fan like me. The Knicks are doing well. He was following the Knicks, and we all followed them. Everything. So, but he likes the Mets, like the Yankees. So, you know, we were getting at them the first couple of weeks, and then after long we left them alone because they were playing so bad and we were playing so good. So it didn't make any difference even to talk about them. So now they're playing good. So now, I mean, it's just so funny because when they weren't playing good, they wouldn't bring up baseball first. And now they're playing so good, and then they beat us 2 games. So now every day he sees me, he talks baseball. So the Mets are playing good, and we've been going through a funk. I'm trying to wait it out till we get out this funk and find ourselves again. To say that, you know, it's such a long season, and you know what? I'd rather get that losing out now. You know what I'm saying? Because you want to try to finish well the second half of the season somehow, some way, and especially go into the last month of the season playing hopefully well. But it's just so funny to see the perspective on how it's more of a conversation for them. Because after a while, when they ask us, the Yankees started off so good the first couple of weeks that I just stopped watching because I knew they were winning every day. And it was just like, it was nothing to say like, oh yeah, we won. If the Yankees would have swept the Yankees, the Mets, trust me, they would have probably been antagonized for one day and we wouldn't have cared and talked about it again. Because that's not the big picture for us. We don't care about being better than the Mets. We don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like a Laker fan and a Warrior fan. It doesn't matter what they did over the last 15 years, the Warriors. You'll never be the Lakers. California and Los Angeles is always going to be the Lakers. No matter what the Clippers do.
Even though Lakers originally started the franchise in Minneapolis, but we weren't.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
We weren't. We all came into this world when the Yankees already accomplished a lot. Derek Jeter added a lot more.
Same thing. When you were born, the Lakers had like 11, 12 titles. When you was born?
91.
That 91?
It was a month where the Lakers lost.
They already had like 11, 12 titles. So when you jumped into the Lakers are already a winning franchise. You know what I'm saying? Same comparison where it is.
And I even got this guy in the walls. He would every time I talk sports with the guy, especially basketball, he would always talk about, I've seen 11 championships. I'm like, you seen 11 championships? You see 5 for Magic Johnson, 5 for Kobe, and 1 for LeBron.
Right.
I can't argue with them there. But what I can argue with is you gotta leave the past alone. It's all about the present.
100%. Listen, Mets play good ball. They beat the Yankees, but those 2 games. We'll see them again. But you know what I said, our biggest goal is to try to win that whole thing and hopefully bring back Soto for next year. That's the goal. And it's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, it is a long season. All right, now on to the final topic of the episode. Jalen Bronson took a pay cut, signed a 4-year extension of $153 million. He left $113 on the table. just so that he can help this team add more pieces. And it started when the Knicks added Cameron Payne from the Philadelphia 76ers on a $1.3 million deal. So what do you think about the offseason for the Knicks this week in particular? We already just, I mean, I don't know if I got your thoughts on Mikal Bridges signing, but yeah, thoughts on the Knicks offseason. How would you evaluate this?
Oh, I mean, they did a phenomenal job, and let me tell you something. It's hard to come by that, but God bless Jalen Bronson, because he could have took way more money. You know what I'm saying? And then that makes me kind of I thought about it in a crazy way. I don't want to be too greedy. If they were gonna do that, they could have found a way to ship an extra, it depends on the amount of money, to ship the extra 15, 20 mil to Hartenstein. Maybe they could have kept Hartenstein, right? But it's always a different tax break because Oklahoma has a different tax break than New York. So I get it. But nevertheless, that's not important. Taking the pay cut, God bless him. He's still making a lot of money. I'm pretty sure that the Knicks organization will take care of Brunson in other different ways. And there's other big things where he'll be compensated. He'll make a lot of money marketing, but still. Or that means when it's his time to re-up again, they're going to make sure that he's taken care of regardless of what's going on in his career, which he'll deserve by a shadow of a doubt. But then him doing that allocates them to get more things and more deals done for the team, which probably seems like they're not done. So they signed OG back, which was huge. You get a healthy Randall back. You know, Robinson will be there. You got a young 7-footer from the draft. You got young wings and forwards that you can throw in the equation. You got a Deuce McBride coming back. You have a Dante. You have Josh Hart. You have Precious Achiuwa, who came back as well too. You have a very good ball club with a lot of guys. You have the kid. And let me say this too, without getting off this. We got to stop this with Summer League. We got to stop. All right? We are some of the most, because golly, I know a lot of basketball, but I ain't God neither. I don't get everything right. Okay? We listen, you live and you learn. You just watch, you study a lot. But we got to stop this with Summer League. Everybody, you cannot know who. Ben Simmons did good in Summer League. Does it matter now?
Nope.
All right. So, you know, we're so prisoners. Bronny shoots bad in a Summer League game, 700 posts. He's the worst thing in the world. Stop. The number 2 pick in the draft out now. I agree with one other guy's post. My man, All Ball. He might be right on this though. This might be the worst draft ever. But still, nobody still has played on the court yet. The kid, the number 2 pick, he went 0 for 9,000, 0 for this, 0 for that. Nobody posted about him, but he did bad, the number 2 pick. But stop. Summer League, you playing against most of the guys that just came from college like you, or a little bit of overseas, or you have a few veteran guys that been maybe with stop. You're not playing against pros. You're playing against pros, but not the NBA pros yet. Okay, Tyler Colett, he looks really good. Now it's back to the Knicks' perspective in the Summer League. 7 points, 7 dimes, 7 rebounds, and he look. I know what he's gonna be.
He had a game-winning 3-point play.
Right, and he went to Marquette. He's a tough guard. They won the Big East tournament a few times. We know what he can do. He can actually knock down a little 3 ball. He's a dime machine. He's willing to guard on defense and gritty, tough. He's going to be good with the Knicks. I'm wondering, now this is what I am concerned about the Knicks. Why y'all got so many guards, point guards? Yeah. Now you got Brunson. You just signed Payne. Payne is a good pickup.
You're being coached by Tom Thibodeau, a guy who I keep being told likes to run his plays into the ground. And when he runs plays to the ground, you got more pieces to replace them.
Yeah, well, Tyler's still going. I can tell with that move, they gonna take their time and develop Tyler because they know that summer league is not the pros. So God forbid they have a lot of backups for that at those positions. They got a lot of lefties on the Knicks now too. So they made good acquisitions. The Knicks did the right thing. They have a very deep bench. To Miles Bridges acquisition, of course, was huge. They have a lot of depth. They'll need it. The Sixers have a lot of talent at the top three positions. Embiid, George, and oh Jesus, what's the young man's name? Tyrese Maxey. And they added a lot of depth. Drummond at the center. No Tobias, he's on Detroit, but they added forwards and guys to help out on the team. So they'll be really good. Their biggest thing is health. I still think the Knicks are. I on paper the Sixers are going to be the better team, but I think the Knicks are the better team. So, but that is the end. The Knicks proved in the series that just passed the better team. So now it's just to validate it again. If those two guys do cross, the Eastern Conference is going to be really good. You'll have the champs. They have the Knicks. They have the Sixers. You have Indiana's upcoming and rising. They added somebody to their team as well too. Miami will be healthy and back and fighting as well. There's going to be a few teams that are going to be up there to compete at a high level, and but the Knicks make great moves, and I'm happy in the direction they're going.
Yeah, me too. I like what the Knicks are building, and hey, I don't mind Jalen Brunson taking that pay cut to sign his 4-year extension because that shows that he's going to carry the New York Knicks for a while. It's all about getting that one championship while you're relevant, because if this doesn't work, we might suffer through another 6 or 7 year playoff drought. And I'm sure we Knicks fans don't want that.
Not at all.
Yeah, let the Brooklyn Nets go through that. They're going to be taking for Cooper Flag.
Yeah, they better. They better. They're going to need it. Can they get the number one pick? I hope they don't have to give it to nobody.
Yeah, they could get the number one pick. I mean, I believe they have like 3 first-round picks. And you know what? In Milwaukee and New York, assuming do not have that great of a season, they might get 3 lottery picks for the price of 1.
Wow.
But again, we'll see what happens. Brooklyn, no need to worry about winning a championship for a while. Tank for Cooper Flag.
I think I don't want. Then you never want to hear somebody say tank
and work your way into a championship caliber team.
You never want to hear tank, but you're right. There's no realistic goal for them. They got to tank and pray for number one, like you said.
If you don't take the tank, let's be real. They're not going to win nothing right with this roster. You got it
right.
That barely plays. Cam Thomas, he can do some things. Then Schroeder, Nicholas Claxton is pretty much your franchise piece at this point. What are they going to do?
And let me tell you something. Nicholas Claxton is a good kid and a good player. But if he's your franchise piece, you're in trouble. Because he's a role player. So he's not. I guess what's the shooter kid? Cam Thomas, I guess. Would he be the franchise? And he only really can shoot and score. He's not really. So,
guys, I mean, I like this guy's scoreability, but I'm not too high on Cam Thomas either. Brooklyn's good. Trust me. Brooklyn's gonna be in rebuilding mode for a while. Right now, while the Knicks are gonna be ones trying to bring a championship to New York. Let the Knicks and Liberty bring a championship. The Liberty, their super team, this is what the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, and James Harden team was supposed to be.
Correct.
And on that note, we'll wrap it up with this episode. We'll start thinking stuff about Ryan Walker. I'm glad we got a full episode done after the last one kind of ended abruptly due to some.
Hold on now, too.
But
I've been all over, man. I'm so sorry before you ended up, man. I've been all over. I've been doing Roosevelt Park. Shout out to Roosevelt Park and Roosevelt, Long Island, with my guy Swinger for his support our youth community tournament. He'll have his championship game coming up August 1st for the boys, the 31st for the ladies. I've also been doing stuff with Bunky Reed, All-Star. Shout out to Khalif, 10 and 12 states. His son, Ahmad the God, class of 2030, aspiring to be one of the best shooters in the nation. We've been doing a lot of games out at Manhasset, out there with the kids. So 9 and under, 11 and under, middle school division. A lot of great work. Crunch time started back up. So every Sundays, we're in Long Island Pro-Am, one of the most elite Pro-Ams in Long Island. 2 o'clock starts, 12 teams. You know how that goes. 5 a.m. Brotherhood Saturday mornings, middle of the season for that. So doing that too. I'm going to do an event also this Saturday in the Bronx at Belmont Avenue. Shaq and Team Shaq and Team.
Yeah, I did see the final.
Yeah, in the Bronx. So that's gonna be huge. I gotta do my commissioner Rev, his son Mason's birthday party. Second time I'm doing it again on Sunday on top of Crunch Time. And then August 1st, Africa Park All-Star Game in Queens. Next weekend, the Riverhead Stop the Violence tournament, 2-day weekend tournament. On top of the normal Brotherhood and Crunch Time things. And August 22nd to 27th, you know, we're going to Canada for the Peace Tournament. So, I mean, the summer has just been so crazy for me. Tomorrow's probably going to be the only day that I go to Dykeman and get to sit down and relax because, you know, it's the birthday, so thank God. And that's it. I've just been doing so much work, so much stuff. And big shout out to my young pup, Nigel James. You see, he went to Luha and made those big the declaration going to Marquette University. So we'll see him in the Big East as well up in the future. And that's it. I just been working, man. I've been doing a lot of work, bro, a lot. But, you know, finish it up.
We're going to continue to do a lot of work indeed. For Ryan Walker, Rafika Lewis on. We'll see you next time. This is an edition of Nothing But That Sports Talk.